Right, so that happened. So, Doctor Who, Series 11, Episode 3, Rosa. First of all, you may have noticed that I've changed the title of this video to Recap instead of Review, because I think recaps are a little easier, shorter, easy to make, and a lot more in line with what I'm trying to do here. So, these videos are going to be called Recaps from now on. Now, let's talk about the actual episode. First of all, let me just say that I couldn't watch the episode when I wanted to, for scheduling reasons, from work mostly, but yeah, I only watched it this morning, and then after that I paced around my apartment back and forth for a while, trying to figure out what exactly I'm going to say about this episode in this recap, because it is honestly one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever, and one of the most important episodes of television in years, and I just really wanted to make sure that I do this episode justice in my recap, that I say the right things, that I don't just trip over my words, so that I know exactly what I'm going to say when I say it. So, again, this is a recap, so we're going to try to keep things a little shorter to make it easier on me and alternatively you as well. So, first of all, the characters themselves, the performances from the actors, top-notch, magnificent. They're getting better at this every single day. They're getting better and better with every episode that passes, and we're only on episode 3. We still have 7 more to go, so we'll see where this develops. Jodie Whittaker is really coming into her own, and she's becoming one of the best doctors we've had in a while. Not that I have any issues with Peter Capaldi. I loved him as the Doctor, and I think he's a very exceptional Doctor, and by that I mean a little bit out of the ordinary in a way, but Jodie Whittaker is kind of like a return to the classic Doctor Who, much more so than any of the other Doctors that came before her, and I really admire that. The companions are also doing their job very well, especially Ryan this episode. I really enjoyed Ryan this episode, especially considering all he had to go through, from getting hit in the face by trying to do the right thing, the good thing, to the way he was perceived by others, the way he was treated. His conversation with Yaz behind the dumpster, that was one of the best moments of the episode. Definitely one of the most emotional parts, that the fact that these two people have gone through this their entire lives. This isn't a new thing to them, and these things are still happening today. That's how relevant this episode has made this issue, and it really does drive the point home that while things get better, they're still not perfect, and I don't think we could have had that much emphasis on this whole point if you didn't have characters like Ryan and Yaz in this episode. So those two are just the two standouts of the group of companions. Ryan in particular. I really enjoyed the Elvis reference and the Steve Jobs joke. I thought that was Doctor Who at its finest. I did hear a lot of complaints about the villain, that he wasn't really developed well enough, that he was only one-dimensional. Yeah, that kind of worked for me, because he really was a physical embodiment of racism and segregation in all of its ugliness, just coming out into the surface. He really did portray that gross element of humanity to its fullest. And the fact that he even referred to Ryan by saying "your kind," not your race or your people kind of suggests to me that either he's talking about humans in general, or alternatively, he doesn't view people of color as people, which is just disgusting, and it drives home the point of what this episode was trying to make. Finally, Vinette Robinson as Rosa Parks did a magnificent job. This is quite possibly one of the best guest appearances on Doctor Who, especially as a historical character. And the final scene where the Doctor and her companions are sitting in the bus, and the Doctor even says as much. They can't help her. She has to figure it out on her own. That's one of the main driving points of this episode, is that they need to let history happen. And like it or not, history is ugly sometimes. It's not always fun and exciting and colorful. Some bad things have happened in history, but those bad things had to happen in order for good things to come out of it. And that's more or less what happened with Rosa Parks, both in the episode and in history. And the fact that we actually got to see that scene being shot inside the bus, at basically at the seat level, looking up at the bus driver when he was standing up, and looking at Rosa Parks from her level. The fact that even the cinematographer made sure that we, as the audience, experienced that scene like we were actually sitting on that bus. Now, first of all, was an amazing feat in storytelling, and also kind of shows you the level of seriousness that Doctor Who is taking itself this season. Overall, I think this is clearly the best episode of this season so far. I'm really loving the direction that everything is going in, and I really honestly can't wait to see what next week is going to show us, because so far we've had the Doctor coming into her own, a post-regeneration story. We've had the Doctor searching for her new TARDIS, and we've had this episode, which is a return to form, a historical event like Doctor Who was back when it first began, which I really appreciated, that sort of callback to the old days. But let me know what you think of this episode. Did you like it? Did you like this new shorter format that I'm doing with these episode recaps, not reviews? Let me know if you even care about me, just at all. But yeah, Doctor Who, Episode 3, Series 11, Rosa. These are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Hello again, everybody. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, where I do all kinds of weird stuff, like showcase all these things, you know, trailer reactions, movie reviews, all kinds of fun stuff. So, until next time, I'll see you guys next time.